What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shuggy from Shook Earth Media, and today we are back with Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 13. This episode is a Dwight and Sherry episode, and while it's not quite as aggressively stupid as last week's episode, this week it's not a great episode. It has a lot of issues, and there's a lot of stuff in this episode that is a great example of why the show is not engaging right now, at least to me. And it's a lot of stuff we haven't gotten too deep into, so I think now is a good chance. You know, like I said, it's a Dwight and Sherry episode, and this show has seemed to decide that we can only have bottle episodes. We can only have 2 to 4 cast members per episode that get proper dialogue, and everybody else, if they do show up, it's only for a few seconds or minutes, and they get a line or two at most. So this show has too big of a cast. That's simply one of the biggest issues with it. There's a lot of good characters, but there's not enough time to service any of these characters properly. So instead we get a lot of bottle episodes that aren't engaging because we haven't been with these characters for a long time at this point. So there's not been this build of their arc. There hasn't been a transition or anything. I understand we can only focus on so many characters per episode, but every episode does not need to be these bottle episodes. I would like to see all the characters interacting for once. Wow, imagine having a show where your characters interact. Such a novel concept nowadays. So in all honesty, all the dialogue between Dwight and Sherry has been falling flat to me. And I mean, this has been true kind of since they were both introduced into this show. It really hasn't landed. A lot of their arc has been related to things that happened on the other show and are just things that were discussed. So it feels like fan fiction almost. It doesn't really feel like they're an integral part of Fear the Walking Dead. It just feels kind of like they're an afterthought of the original show and just thrust onto here. So that continues here, and most of the episode, until you find out what they're arguing about, feels like they're not arguing about anything important, and it's really, really just kind of irritating for them just to have constant bickering back and forth when we don't know why. Of course, we find out the reason why. We'll get back to that, but Sherry's pregnant, and it's honestly extremely obvious. They presented it as a twist or something unexpected, but it's literally the exact consequence of the end of their last episode where they decided they wanted to have a kid. So it's not surprising. It's just cause and effect. It's really not something that needs a whole episode devoted to it. It's something we've already expected, something that should be in the pipeline already. So it's not something that is unexpected at all. And here we get another perfect example of other problems with the show this season. Okay, so we have this lady who doesn't seem important for any of the rest of the episode. I don't even know why they have this beginning part of the storyline. The episode starts, we have Dwight and Sherry at different places. They're using the radios to talk, and he's telling her about something that happened off screen. This is a problem we're having in this show. Every episode, it seems like there's events that we missed. There's things that happen between the previous episode and this one that we don't get to see, and we just get described to us. And I don't think that this is necessarily a very effective storytelling technique in most cases. Sometimes it makes sense. You don't need to see every single event that is important to a storyline happen on screen directly. But sometimes I think like this storyline would have landed a little better if we got to see the woman a little more. Another problem with the show is we're able to they act like this show takes place in a couple neighborhoods or maybe like a 2-mile radius at most. Like everybody can just instantly find each other. You know, Dwight is in the sub, Sherry is at this beach, and they are both able to converge at this exact place and meet this exact person who they realistically would not have very good luck finding. I mean, where are you right now? I'm in the woods. Like, where, how, is there a tree that has a heart drawn on it that I drew on? How do they know exactly where in the woods this person is? They're acting like the woods aren't huge. The woods are expansive. It's very easy to get lost. A lot of stuff looks similar to other places. It's hard to find your way in the woods. None of these characters even have compasses or anything. Honestly, if they had compasses, maps, ways to track their movements, I would be able to explain this a little more. I would be a little bit more okay with this. Or maybe if this character said, hey, I'm holed up next to this landmark, and it's a very specific, memorable thing that you can see from a distance. There you go. That would make sense. We don't have any way to make sense of this other than it feels like it's written by a child, to be honest. Like, oh, they're just able to find each other. I don't know that the people writing the show ever fucking go outside in their life. Like, I don't think they know what the woods is. I'm being a little mean at this point, but honestly, that's just my feeling on it. And they're bickering literally in this scene, the scene previous to this. Sherry is like, Dwight, you think we're gonna lose the war with Strand, don't you? And then literally like 30 seconds later, he asks her the same thing. He's like, you think we're gonna lose, don't you? That's what she just said to you. That you believe we're gonna, and then she makes it like it's an issue. Like you're doing something wrong by thinking that we're gonna lose. Even though it's really what anybody should be thinking. And again, these two are the only ones with any real beef with Strand, okay? They were staying with a family. Strand had this family murdered so that these two would do what they want, right? So these are the only two with like a legit beef against Strand. Everybody else just doesn't like Strand for some reason I don't understand. Maybe because he tried to kill Morgan at the end of season 6, which is something I still don't understand why that happened. But okay. I guess that's why everybody's mad. These two have the most legitimate beef. They had friends that they stayed with, a whole family, innocent people that got murdered by Strand's people. They have the most claim to a war against Strand, and even then, especially with the pregnancy, I cannot fathom a reason why they're even considering going to war. Why wouldn't they just leave? What are they so attached to in the tower? Especially now that the baby's out. They have no reason why they should give a shit about anything going on in the tower. These two, honestly, they, like, should have just gotten in that boat and left. I don't know why we're even talking about a tower. Who gives a fuck about the tower? Can somebody explain why we give a fuck about the tower? They tried to add the whole thing in with the zombies last week, and it really is not a good enough of a reason. So, you know, again, we got we got Morgan here, and he's on the run. He's got the baby, and now all of a sudden, all the zombies from around the tower are following him. Very convenient, of course, for the plot. And, of course, it sounds like John Dory's sacrifice meant absolutely nothing, didn't slow the zombies down at all. And now I'm like, why do we even need to go to war with the tower if there's no zombies around the tower? Everybody can fucking leave. They can walk out. All the rangers are out looking for the baby. Anyways, who's gonna stop them? Literally just leave the tower. Literally just go. What are you scared of? I don't understand. I really, really don't. Okay, so again, of course, Dwight, Sherry magically find Morgan because coincidences are everything. It's a 2-mile radius, this whole show. Everything's just convenience for the scriptwriter. It's really not about telling a great story here. We all know that. So, of course, they magically find each other again. And it's very convenient for the plot that the zombies are being chased away from the tower. And now, of course, we got Morgan wants to lead them into the crater so that they can just attack the tower now. But like I said, the people that they have in the tower that they care about can now leave. And now everybody can live elsewhere because I don't know why we're fighting over this particular building when it's in the middle of a nuclear fallout zone. And they should all just be trying to leave. Am I the only one who's like, why aren't they trying to leave? It can't be just me. And, you know, I like this horse here. just to give the episode praise for something. Some cool effects in this episode. There's also, while the zombies were being led by Morgan, there's a zombie who fell and then was stomped on by another zombie. I like that stuff. So there's some good effects here. That's the most entertaining part of this episode. Now we got Wes looking absolutely pathetic in this episode. Failing at absolutely everything. He's not fully committed to being with Strand. If he was fully committed to being with Strand, why wouldn't he just, like, start shooting them right now? Or he should have tried to get the drop on them, do something stealthy. I don't know what he thinks is going to happen here. You know, it's just a lame standoff, but it doesn't even seem like he really wants to shoot him. So the West thing was so rushed anyways, but now it just looks absolutely pathetic. And it's just really not working for me. And Alicia comes into the episode last minute. Well, not last minute, but it just feels kind of random that she just shows up. She also planted a bomb on a car or something. And I'm like, where did she get that? where did she have a bomb? I don't know. Am I the only one confused by her having a bomb randomly? And her part of the episode is really one of the worst parts. And, I liked Alicia's character prior to this season, but her arc this season is just a waste. I think she's on her way out. Alicia Debnam-Carey just got cast in a new Hulu show. So I really think that she's on her way out. And honestly, as much as her character's one of the best ones on the show historically at this point, we're better off just letting it go. And now we got this long scene in this car wash, and again, it's just these pointless arguments. They're talking about the lady. I forgot to mention earlier, the lady wanted to go to the tower because she thought her son might be there, and Dwight was like, yeah, sure, here's the right way. And then Sherry's like all upset. We're about to go to war with them again. I don't know why we're going to war with them. And then this is when we find out that Sherry might be pregnant. But again, it's like they have a baby that's being pursued, and they know that they're being pursued, and then they just sit here and wait for them to show up, which is literally what fucking happens. And I'm just like, bro, literally everybody watching this was like, dude, they're gonna get caught, okay? There's nothing surprising about this, okay? And then there's this whole standoff situation. Dwight takes a few of them by surprise, manages to shoot them. He and Wes are scuffling here, and then Dwight's like, Sherry, run! And then Sherry's like hesitating. I'm like, bro, why should she run? I mean, if Wes has a gun on him, why isn't he using it right now? Literally, Sherry, you should run over here, okay? Grab this machine gun that this other guy dropped, okay? Pop, 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 pop. Everybody wins. Wes is dead. It's over. I get that, they don't want to kill Wes because Wes is on their side at one point, but at this point, bro, just fucking shoot him already and leave. Am I the only one who's like, what? I just don't understand the thought process. There's a lot of talking in this episode and not a lot of things happening, okay? It's a lot of yap, arguing, having the same fucking conversation going in circles over and over again. And it's just like, it wants you to think that there's these deep themes and that they're learning more about the characters, but really we're just having the same conversation over and over again for the entire episode between pretty much every character here. Morgan and Alicia are having the same conversation over and over again for episodes now. Dwight and Sherry having the same conversation over and over again, and I don't know, I'm just sick of it at this point. And then because we need to reuse the sets from the Padre episode, we need to go back to the bunker where Alicia was. I literally think this is just to save money and reuse the sets that they built already. I don't think there's any other reason. They're just like, oh, they happen to be in the same area. Again, everything's taking place at a 2-mile radius. There's like, they just so happen to be in the same area that Morgan and Alicia are walking over with the zombies. They just happen to be in the same area. I don't think they understand how big this fucking world is, dude. When they write this show, man, it's very frustrating. And at this point, I'm just like, we know that she's pregnant. There would be no point to this storyline if she ended up not being pregnant. So holding the suspense over them checking the fucking thing is beyond stupid, okay? And now we're back at the crater, and it turns out somebody let them out because I guess they drove a 18-wheeler in there somehow. They backed it in. I don't really know the logistics of how they let them out. Where did they go? I mean, it's just a massive horde of zombies. They didn't just disappear, okay? I don't know if they got them hiding underground or something, but it should really be not... It should be obvious where they are. It shouldn't be possible to hide them. So I don't really know what we're doing there. And now there's going to be a big showdown in the project. And, dude, we're back in the fucking tunnels again, dude. Okay, so here's the thing with the tunnels. I hate this location because one of the best characters in the show got bit here in the dumbest way possible. I will never be able to sever that connection. And here we have characters doing the exact thing. It's slightly less dumb because they're not following a zombie. But it's still dumb because they're going through a fucking tunnel that they knew collapsed already. And also, here, that we got a stack of rocks here, okay? He's clearing out this stack of rocks. If this collapsed in, there would be gaping hole in the roof of the fucking tunnel, okay? There would be a gap here. There'd be like all this jaggy metal. And if you move stuff, more stuff would fall down. Okay, this is how physics works. Okay, if it collapsed inward based on the pressure of all the dirt from above, there would be like a tear here. And you wouldn't just be able to clear it like it's just a stack of rocks that the art department put there, dude. It's so dumb. And then they fucking climbing through this thing and it collapses again. And it has the exact same issue. So it's really stupid that why would Alicia even say like, oh yeah, you can, there's another exit, you can leave via the tunnels. First, it collapsed in when you were in there. I don't understand. Okay, I mean, I guess she knew Will was able to leave via the tunnels, so she said okay. But still, it makes no sense. That is the dumbest part of this episode, absolutely, because it's not just a pile of rocks that just appeared there. It collapsed in. It's so... I don't even really think that a group of zombies would be enough to collapse this thing anyway. Like, I mean, if people are walking home from a concert and it's just a big group of people walking back to the parking lot and there happens to be a tunnel underneath the ground where they are, I don't think it's in danger of collapsing. But let's just say for the sake of argument that it is. This scene is still repetitive and stupid. In the best case, this is a repetitive scene that we've seen before. That is the absolute best case scenario. So it's supposed to be big climax of the episode. All Wes's people are in the bunker and they're trying to leave and they can't. And then they take a pause here, even though Dwight just has to clear the way and they can keep going. I don't know why do they pause here? What are they waiting for? What do they think is going to happen? They know they're in active danger. The tunnel just collapsed. Why are they so safe in assuming that the tunnel won't collapse more? Why aren't they in a serious rush to get out of here? Why are they not panicking? Why are they taking the moment to have another heart-to-heart scene? We've had so many of them already, and we finally get to see the pregnancy test, and of course she's pregnant. Wow, okay, it wasn't like I was expecting that from the first scene of this episode or anything, dude. Oh my god. And while we're mentioning it, in the base we get to see Wes's people and they just all get easily taken out by zombies. There's none that are clever enough to find a way to escape. No one tries the guts thing. Nobody tries anything. They just all get eaten. And earlier in the episode, I forgot to mention it, but when we first see the horde with Morgan and everything, there's somebody starts shooting at them in the street, and this person has terrible aim, of course, the stormtrooper aim, and then they hide behind a truck, and then they're running all around. They don't act realistic as to getting shot at all. If you're getting shot at by somebody that you don't see, they have a second to line up the shot, and usually that first shot is gonna hit, man. And if it doesn't, it's close, okay? So I don't really buy into that scene at all. And then that guy gets instantly eaten by slow-moving zombies that he's had 4 or 5 years experience. I said at one point that we're 10 years in at this point. We are not 10 years in Fear of the Walking Dead. We're like 3 to 5. It's not very clear. But so I was wrong about that earlier. But still, it's 3 to 5 years. These people have had experience killing zombies. They're rangers. They're trained. They're armed. They act like idiots in this episode. And again, it's like The Walking Dead is always doing this with its villains. They did it with CRM, making their villains look really weak when they want you to be afraid of them. So it's like the exact opposite of what they should want you to do, you know? And then we get the reunion scene, and I just don't care. And now Morgan's leaving. Morgan's taking the baby, and he's leaving. Why aren't they all leaving, is my question. Why aren't they all leaving? Why do they want the fucking tower so bad? Nobody can really explain this to me. And the only explanation they had is the horde of zombies that might swarm the area soon, but they're already mysteriously gone. I'm guessing it's Padre, if I had to guess. Padre has the zombies. Padre has Madison. They're really relying on Padre as, like, this is what's going to draw the audience. So literally all I care about in the show anymore is seeing Madison. And even that, I know they're going to fuck it up. There's no way they're going to do it properly. And then we get the scene where we get to see the other cast members for like 2 seconds, and that's it. And now I'm thinking back to last week's episode, or was it 2 weeks ago? I don't know. The one with Daniel and Luciana lying to Daniel about Ophelia and everything. And I'm just like, would she even be able to get away with that? Because if this was like a normal show where we had our cast members interacting with each other in every episode, how would that not come up? That Daniel mentions, oh, we're getting Ophelia in the tower. Like, other people in the group would be like, no, bro, like, Ophelia died. How would she even be able to keep that ruse going without at least alerting other people in the group and having them talk to her and have a discussion about it? See, that's a real storyline. This is not. Like, oh, we're just going to have Morgan leave. Why don't we all leave? Like I said, and Alicia's plan is so dumb too. Like, I haven't mentioned this, but she left to find a radio. And then she's like, I'm going to use the radio to get more people to fight against Strand. And it's like, okay, why would some random person on the radio be like, yeah, sure, I'll sign up for a war. Like, you can get away with that if you can pay people. I guess, and if somebody's especially desperate and they have nowhere else to go, maybe. But why would that person really have a radio? Would that person have electricity to power the battery for the radio? And if they did have a radio, you know, they don't have power and stuff, would they really just, like, leave it on at all times just in case? I don't know what she thinks, how she's going to convince all these people. And then the dumbest of dumb is that she now wants to use the tower radio, the radio in the tower. She wants to break into the tower to use the tower radio to try to get people to fight against the tower. It's so dumb. Why would anybody care? I would love it if she got to use the radio, and then, like, not only did you give yourself away and now Strand is going to kill you, nobody heard it and nobody fucking cares, so everybody's gone. So you lose. That's the ending I want. Is I want Strand to win the war, and I want our characters to get absolutely shellacked and be like, man, we were so fucking dumb for fighting over something that literally doesn't matter when we could have just fucking hightailed it out of there, and that would have been that. So that's my opinion on this episode. The show is absolutely ridiculous. It's pathetic at this point. I'm done making excuses for it. I'm happy to say when I like things in the show in general. And I was a little bit warmer on the Daniel episode. So if you want to see an episode where I don't just trash on it, there you go. But yeah, this show is very terrible. This whole season, terrible. And I can't wait for it to be over. I'm serious. When we get to see Madison, that's when you'll see me be a little bit excited. But like I said, they're going to fuck it up, dude. Don't get your hopes up. That's all I'm going to say. So, also, I almost forgot after I was done filming, but this shot right here at 4208 literally is out of focus, okay? This is not low resolution or anything. Everybody's out of focus. It's in focus when it's a close-up on Daniel here at the raft thing, but everybody else is out of focus, so I just thought that was funny. Needed to point that out. Definitely hit the sub button if you want to see more Fear the Walking Dead content. We also got Better Call Saul content. Better Call Saul has a new episode tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that, and also this week we have a new video. It's 50 behind the scenes facts about Better Call Saul that I learned from watching the Better Call Saul Insider podcast, so that's going to be really interesting if you're like behind the scenes filmmaking stuff, see how they make films and all of that. So definitely keep it locked on Shook Earth Media for that. Hit the like button if you like, and I hope to see you guys in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope to see you in the next video. Peace out.